Açılış konuşmalarımızı tamamladık. Şimdi sizlere Türkiye'de ilk uygulamalardan biri olan özel bir teknolojiyle bir deneyim yaşatacağız. Sıradaki konuşmamız esnasında arkamda görebileceğiniz QR sistemi aracılığıyla AI simultane sistemiyle çeviri desteği sağlanacak. Bu sistem sayesinde kendi telefonlarınızdan konuşmayı eş zamanlı olarak Türkçe olarak da okuyabilecek veya kulaklıklarınız aracılığıyla dinleyebileceksiniz. Ekranda gördüğünüz QR'ı kameranızla taratmanız yeterli olacak. Sisteme kolayca erişebilirsiniz. Böylece konuşmayı gerçek zamanlı olarak Türkçe takip edebilirsiniz. Şimdi karşılarınıza İstanbul'dan buraya gelirken 5 saatlik bir araba yolculuğuyla 5 saat boyunca durmaksızın sohbet ettiğim çok kıymetli, çok değerli bir ismi davet edeceğim. Not defterim sürekli yanımdadır. Hocalığın şanındandır. Sürekli not defteriniz yanınızda bulunur. Çıkartıp not aldım konuşmanın bazı yerlerinde. Hem çok keyif aldım hem çok farklı bilgiler edindim kendisinden. Kendisi yazılım tanımlı araçlar, yeni nesil mobilite ve mühendislik konusunda konuşmalarını yapacaklar. Harvard Business School, London School of Economics gibi dünyanın en önemli iş okullarında, üniversitelerinde dersler veriyor kendisi. Aynı zamanda bir yapay zeka, fütürist konuşmacı, çok önemli bir iş insanı, Exponential grubu kurucusu ve CEO'su Sayın Tarıq Quereish'i sahneye davet ediyorum. Büyük alkışlarınızla efendim. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Tarıq Quereish.
Günaydın. Günaydın Eskişehir. How are you today? Assalamu alaikum. I came all the way from Dubai to connect with you. So how many students are there in this room? Because we're at university. A few? Okay. How many young, budding entrepreneurs who want to become millionaires and billionaires? How many? Very few. God, guys, more hands, more hands. This today is a journey, and I will take you into the future. I will take you on a journey into the future. You see this beautiful image behind us. It is about the future of mobility. Mobility is not just cars or automotive. It's much, much beyond that. So we will look at this, and we'll take it forward from here. May I please introduce myself with a short video? It's a bit of fun. Here we go. I'm an author of a book. I get people dancing, so don't worry.
They were
not
designed
today.
for the 20th century and set up in the 20th century. So the 20th century companies are coming down, and the 21st century companies are going up.
To celebrate innovation, to celebrate research and development, to actually bring ideas and investments together.
We can solve the big challenges of the world. We can talk about poverty, healthcare, education, climate. AI can also help our businesses, our apps. It facilitates.
This is me, ladies and gentlemen, and I will talk to you very much about humanity today. I know you're expecting me to talk all tech, but I will talk a lot of humanity. So, what I'd like you to do with me today, please, let's have an experiment together, okay? And the experiment is going to be hybrid. There's a bit of AI going on. I will speak, I'll connect with you, and there will be components using AI, and I will be translated. First time I'm doing it, so it's a journey. If it messes up, don't worry. This is an experiment, and let's do that. So, as we look into the future, this is something I recorded
Hareketlilik özelliği,
in Turkish.
arabalar, dronlar, uçaklar ve bizi A'dan B'ye götüren her şey hakkında. İşte bugün bundan bahsedeceğiz. Girişimci fikirler ve yeni düşüncelerle inovasyonu, bu düşüncenin nasıl değiştiğini inceleyeceğiz. Bu güzel görüntüye bakın. Bu 2035-2040 yılında İstanbul'un görselleştirilmiş bir resmi. Dronlar var, arabalar var, güneş ışığı var, her şey var ve dünya böyle değişecek ve bugün Sizi geleceğe hazır, uygun ve dayanıklı kılmaktan bahsediyoruz. Geleceğe Hazırlık Enstitümüz tüm bu yönleri kapsıyor ve bugün bunu ele alacağız. 3 büyük sorumuz var. İlki, mobilite alanındaki
These are very
büyük 10
important to
kat
remember.
büyüme fırsatlarından yararlanmaya hazır olmak. Daha da önemlisi, geleceğinizi optimize etmek için gereken liderlik, yetenek, beceri
This is
ve
number
süper
two.
güçlerinizi tam olarak kullanıyor musunuz? Son olarak ve çok önemli bir nokta, standart bir şirketten teknoloji ve yapay zeka şirketine dönüşme arzunuz ve hazırlığınız.
This is really
Çünkü
important.
sadece dijitalleşmek
AI
yeterli
company.
değil. Yapay zeka çoktan öne geçti. İşte bu 3 soru mobilite alanında doğrudan veya
So basically, I wanted to. I hope you like my Turkish. Was it good? Thank you very much. So at least it worked out. Okay. Today we will make you future ready, future fit, and future proof. This is what today is all about. So this is the journey that we go on. Now, today is the 23rd of October. Would you like to go in 2030, 5 years from now? I'll make a little movie, and this is a view from the future. News bulletin 5 years from now. Let's see what is happening. And this is about aviation. Now, the aviation world takes a lot of connection from movies. So you see, all of these people are imagining it in the future. 1997, they were looking into the future at that point in time. I've been on Concorde about 20 years ago. Amazing. Hyperloop, changing mobility. And to me, this is what mobility is. Green fuel, look at the date, 1985. People were visualizing that literally 25, 30 years ago. Star Wars, hologram, you think it's new? It's 1997. And we have a new ecosystem that we are traveling in. So we have all of these things. This is all mobility, ladies and gentlemen, getting from point A to point B. And you as young entrepreneurs need to be inspired by looking into the future. Teleportation, this is going to happen. At least with physical goods, it's going to happen. So what I have done here is taken movies, Hollywood, and shown you how we can look into the future and see how this thing comes together. And maybe we will have to leave the world. Maybe we'll be on Mars. Maybe we will have a new system called Elysium, and that is going to happen. So here was a little session just for you to get a flavor from the past into the future. Now, do you think that was crazy? Let's go completely crazy now, okay? Ready to go crazy? Number one, the first AI president in the world. Okay, this is about to happen in the next 10 years, 15 years. Well, when we see some of the international politicians and so on, maybe we wonder, maybe that's not such a bad thing. Two, everything, quantum computing will change. No fraud, no nothing like that. Producing all our body parts and living to 150 years, this is happening now. And robots, risk management. We saw a lot of robots in all of this morning. For me, it's really important to see that they don't go the wrong way and we control them. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the future. In this future, what do you think is the number one most important thing that's going to define the future? Anybody? Raise your hand and give me one word. What's going to define our future? Anybody? One word. Yes, ma'am. Software. Okay. Keep going. One or two more. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Learning agility. Interesting. Getting closer. One more. What do you think is going to impact our world in a way that fundamentally changes things? Yes, sir.
About technologies, quite a lot of things, but I think we shouldn't forget about clean water and food
Clean
supplies
water and so on.
as well.
You're all right, but you're taking a microcosm of this thing. What I'm saying is, in my view, my thesis is the number one most important thing that is going to define our future is trust. We have a deficit of trust. We don't trust our governments. We don't trust our media. We don't trust our data. We don't trust anything. So therefore, a close brother and sister of trust is truth and ethics. Can you imagine AI without trust, truth, and ethics? It's a disaster. It's a weapon of mass destruction. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why it's so important to have trust in the world, to be able to connect. And I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the reasons why we need to have trust is this. 82% of the people in the world, you guys, believe that our robots are doing a better job than the managers. That's a scary number. We need to figure this one out. Here is a beautiful plane. We jump out of a plane. When we jump out of a plane, what's happening? We are taking a trust leap. We have a parachute, right? But we are jumping out and we're taking a trust leap. This is how trust works. It's the distance between the known and the unknown. That is trust. Some people call it risk. Risk is too technical. Trust is more human. So any product that you do, any new mobile that you come in, EVs are coming in, robotics are coming in, AI is coming in, all of these things need trust. And that is the basis of it. However, as we look into the future without love and empathy and values, life is really not worth living. So this is a little bit of the human formula that we're looking at. Now look at this race, beautiful race. 100 meters. This guy, he ran 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. It's completely crazy. It's brilliant. It was a world record. But that is not the story, ladies and gentlemen. The story is that that morning he wrote 9.60. It had never happened in the world. It is about mindset. You young people, if you put in your mind something that needs to happen, it will happen. You need to believe it inside. You need to believe it here like he believed it. And we need a mindset of abundance, a mindset of gratitude. We need all of these things. This is how you young people are going to engage the future, in the future of mobility as we see it. So, lots of cars here, right? And you see different brands. This is your industry. Guess what? They all look the same. They all look the same. Different brands, same car. Okay? What is this? What this is, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call strategic convergence. Everything is coming together. We're reading the same books. We're going to the same universities. We all the same information. Guess what? We produce the same damn thing. So we should be very careful about following everybody in the same direction. And the things about strategic convergence is once you start believing something, everybody follows that. For example, in 2015, nobody thought that a TV star could become the president of the United States. That was groupthink by media, and it happened. Brexit in the UK happened again. So there are examples where people said it won't happen. But if we go in the same direction, everybody, it happens. So we know that business and social and economic change is slower than technological change. And for the first time, our past does not represent our future. Our present does not represent our future. So today is about going into the future and looking back. That is how the future is created, ladies and gentlemen. And you know where we are? We're about here. Here. It's now diverging. You think it's really gone ahead? It's not. So we have to move forward from there. Okay, so let's look at some megatrends. When we look at some megatrends in the mobility space, this is how, This is how a lot of our cars are going to be. It's a whole space, a working environment, our offices are going to be there and so on. This was visualized about 6-7 years ago, so this would seem very, very familiar. Our relationship with our cars will change. Our relationships with our cars as we go forward is going to be that our cars will be collecting data. So rather than sitting in a car park downstairs with a valet, you're actually collecting data. So your car is making money for you. And this is really, really critical.
Ek olarak büyük megatrendlere bakalım. mobilite alanındaki büyük megatrendler şunlardır. İnsan duygularını hisseden arabalar, empatik yapay zeka ve dünya bu yöne doğru ilerliyor. Ayrıca arabanın yeni yakıtı olarak verilere bakıyoruz ki bunu az önce ele aldık ve bireysel dikey hareketlilik. Bu dronlar ve benzerleriyle veya bireysel olarak insanlarla gerçekleşecek. Yani 2030'daki mobilite aslında çok farklı görünüyor. Ve bu bugünün kritik grafiği. Gelin Mercedes'i ele alalım. Mercedes arabalar için insanlık ve uyarlanabilirlikten bahsediyor.
very important message.
Liderlerinden biri insanın makineye değil, makinenin insana uyum sağlaması gerektiğini söyledi. Yani makineler bize uyum sağlıyor, bizi gözlemliyor, düşünüyor ve sonra ayarlıyor. İleriye bakarsak
So we are building cars with empathy. Can you believe
odaklandığımız
that?
en önemli konulardan biri. Audi gelecekte arabanın sürücüye karşı empati kuracak, yeni bir özelliğe sahip olacağını söylüyor. Böylece hissedebilecek, stresli misin diye anlayabilecek, yüz tanıma gibi özelliklere sahip olacak tüm bu tür bileşen.
Okay, so what I wanted to show is that we can actually now, the whole philosophy is changing. We are building cars with empathy, with humanity, with connection. So when we sit in the car, they understand us. We don't have to fit into them. And this is going to be the kind of shift that's happening. New contexts are happening. We are bringing in all our technologies, whether it's ChatGPT or so on, into our day-to-day lives. And this was recently introduced a few months ago, a Chinese car, which is a car and a helicopter drone by itself. So these are the kinds of new things that are happening, fundamentally changing distance and time. And this is how the world is going to be as we go forward. This is quite critical. Transport as a service. Now, all of you young people who are looking at creating new opportunities and new startups and so on, this is a huge area. If you just look at the individual ownership is going down and the transport as a service is going wider and wider. And there is a crossover between energy, technology and transportation. And this is one of the new
Yani
trends.
hizmet
And I
olarak
explain it here in
taşımacılık
Turkish.
dediğimiz akıllı bağlantılı enerji hareketi platformunu oluşturacak 3 sektör var. Enerji, teknoloji ve ulaşıma bakıyoruz ve üçü de bir araya geliyor. İleriye baktığımızda hizmet olarak ulaşımda araba sahipliği azalırken paylaşımlı kullanım artıyor. Bu grafik hizmet olarak ulaşımın ya da benim değişimle mobilitenin benimsenme hızını gösteriyor.
So this is exactly the kind of areas where you can actually build a lot of businesses in going forward. A lot of people said adoption of EV is very difficult. This is a few years ago, 2022, Norway was already at 88%. So it can be done. And if we had more time, I could explain that in more depth. So as
the year is 2050. You're driving to...
No, I think I can go forward from here. So looking at 2025 and beyond in terms of the kind of new initiatives that are happening, a lot of these are, this is some research that I did, a lot of these are the new trends that are happening. And I think the startups in this room here need to look at that. But if you look at here, even when we are looking at sales, at the end of the day, it's the human connection. If we're looking at after-sales service, it's the human connection. So there has to be a human in the loop, even though we're looking beyond as we look into the future. Now, what I'd like to do is to start talking about some technology, because I think you're saying this guy's not going to talk tech anymore. What is happening in technology is all of these industries are coming up really, really fast. If you, as a startup, ladies and gentlemen, are not involved in any one of these industries, you are missing out. You have to be a part of at least one of them, or a combination. You're students. I'm at a university. Do you know that the universities and young companies are not preparing us for the future? So only 70% of the jobs that are 70 to 80% of the jobs that exist in 2030 exist today. So whatever job you're doing today, 80% of you will be doing a different job. Remember that data point. All of you, 80% will be doing something different. 50% of your reference and your work today will go onto AI. So you can, if you're working 50 hours a week, you can work 25 hours a week and the rest goes to AI. And this is another really important thing. How are you going to use that time that is released? Now the last one is really scary. Only 20% of the boards and super executive senior managers are capable of dealing with this future. Only 20% from Accenture. So these are very important data points as we look into 2030, which is really not that far away. How many people feel that data is the new oil? Everybody knows data is the new oil. I think data is the new oil, but in my opinion, data is the new rocket fuel. Because if you take data, and so let's take oil. If you take oil and you clean it, and you enhance it, you refine it, you add it, you create things around, what happens is you create from $80, it goes up to $1,000. 17x increase in value. Data is exactly the same. Data, you take it, you anonymize it, you harmonize it, you tokenize it, you productize it, and you make sure that you follow all the GDPR rules and things like that, and then you go forward from there. This is why data is critical. Everything that you're doing, all of the new startups that are coming in will be AI-led, data-driven. If you're not in that space, you'll struggle. These are some use cases that are there. One of the critical ones here is American Airlines. Very famous study. During COVID, American Airlines was going bust. It was about to close down. So they went to the bank and said, guys, can I have $4 billion, please, because I'm about to go under. All the banks said, go away. We have this crazy thing called COVID, and nothing is happening, so we won't give you the money. So the group that I was working with in Boston, we went in there and started looking around. Nothing. The airline was bust, was gone. But then, so the value of the airline was $6.5 billion. And inside the airline, there was their loyalty program. They had the American Airlines Advantage program. So we took that out, tokenized it, anonymized it, synthesized it, fractionalized it, productized it, and created trends, and not data. I'm not selling anybody's data, but trends and stuff, because it had 30 years of trend. This company was $6.5 billion. This data company, how much do you think it was valued at? Any idea? It's written there, actually. $31 billion. Here it was $6.5 billion. Here it was $31 billion. And the proof was that the bank gave $10 billion loan based on this company and $0 based on the airline. So the power of data can be identified, and there are many, many examples of how you can enhance value by capturing and analyzing and synthesizing data as we go forward. Okay, AI. Everybody wants to talk AI. Why is AI so important? AI is so important because a lot of new things are happening, and all of these things, we need to have something which is faster and better. So, everything that you look into in AI, we have to narrow the problem, we have to look at risk management, we have to grow the processes, the use cases. However, whether it's NVIDIA, GPUs and processors, everything depreciates. Everything depreciates. Two things appreciate. One is talent, you, and two is data. So if we can focus our minds, if we can engage ourselves in these two areas, enhance and develop and really, really make our talent supreme in skilling, upskilling, outskilling, bringing the best of the best people in to be able to do that. So this is a little study that we were doing of all of you being affected by 91%, 87%. And the idea really here is that over 90% of you are going to be impacted by AI. So AI is like PowerPoint and Excel. AI is like a new language. AI is a new algorithmic species. You cannot avoid it. Learn it. So I talk about human plus AI. Not human or AI, but human plus AI. And we'll look into that in a sec. So, when we look at the kind of things that it can bring in, these are the kind of new trends that you will be able to see as you go forward. Now, you look about AI, here are just some things you need to learn. How many people can recognize some of these? Most people sort of stop here. But to be an integral part for startups, young companies, students, and advanced companies, you need to have, so your proficiency level has to be with all of these elements. Now, in the world of AI, I'll come in there. In the world of AI, what are the important things for you to succeed in the world of AI? Anybody? What kind of skills do you need? Anybody? Young people? You're studying, what kind of skills do you need to succeed in the world of AI? Yes, ma'am. Sorry? Problem solving. Yes, absolutely. Problem solving has always been there. Anything else? Faster. Yes, sir. Defining the problems, asking questions, being curious. Brilliant. Very good. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir? Imagination. Amazing. Now we are getting closer to the game. So what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, is that these are the skills that you need in the future of AI. Critical thinking, adaptability, intuition and judgment, wisdom. These are the new skills. Yes, we need to be technically qualified. You need to, that's just the baseline. That's just your base language. But you need these skills to be able to succeed in the world of AI. Please take a picture of this. For all of the young people on all the startups, take a picture of this because you will be using all of these apps less or more of. Using these apps, you can compete with the biggest people and the biggest organizations here. Small companies, you guys can make a difference and can change the world. And these are, some of them are familiar, some of them are not. This is a boardroom in Abu Dhabi. It's one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds in the world. And they have brought in an AI called Aiden into the board as a board advisor. So all the gentlemen sitting here will actually have somebody sitting in this empty seat who is an AI. And that person will be helping you. Why? Because you are living in a very complex world. You have so many variables to balance. So the data will come from there, and you use your judgment, your wisdom, your empathy, your imagination, your creativity. That's what you're using. The AI is just giving you information. And this is what happened here. So the future, and this the younger people here can be very happy with, is I visualize the future boardroom or future executive room to look like this. A smart person in the middle, somebody like Umar Bey, who gets a nice young person like you guys up there, and a bot. That's the new board. You don't need 10 people in the board. These will produce billion-dollar companies. So you young people will be able to do this. So this is an AI version of me. And this is really scary. So why is this scary for me? It is because they created my AI, my duplicate here. They're creating humanoid robots. They took 30 seconds of my voice, and you heard them, the quality of my Turkish in my voice. So am I going to be replaced? Do you like me? How many people like me in this room? Okay, so I'm not being replaced yet. But this is where it's going on. So our human connection, and I think we need to be able to reconnect with ourselves. Robots are taking a lot of jobs, and they will take more and more jobs. We need to find a way for them to be our partners. They need to be our friends. They need to be like an additional species. And they have become a new species. And this is how all of these things are happening with robots. Okay, looking into the future. With all of this drama going on, do you want to know what the future jobs look like? How many? You guys do? All right, here we go. Future jobs. I said that 70 to 80% of the jobs that exist in 2030 do not exist today. These are some of the jobs. If you're not planning for these jobs, you're missing out because they're going to happen. So looking at the future jobs, these are the kind of things. One of the critical things as part of the future, and somebody mentioned it earlier, was creativity. What is happening to creativity as we're looking forward? Is it going up or down? Anybody? Creativity, as you grow older, does it go up or down? Let's test this. This was a study done at NASA. And for the rector and the administrators in this room, this is really important. Here's a cute little girl, 3, 4 years of age. Do you think her creativity is high, medium, or low? High, everywhere in the world. I've done this 600 times all over the world. Everywhere in the world I go, intuitively we know it's high. Then what happens? We send it to school. What happens to the creativity? Boom, goes down to 50%. Then we come to the university, we save our money, we pay a lot of money, and it goes down to, boom, 25%. What the hell are we doing? We were born creative geniuses, and we are dumbing ourselves down. Why is this happening? Habit, too much screen time, too much repetition, fear of failure, fulfilling our parents' requirements and needs. I'll tell you about my story of failure as we end. I was not allowed to fail, because if you don't experiment, we are not creative by definition. So we, ladies and gentlemen, are at a handsome 10%. So we're born creative geniuses, and we dumbed ourselves down. Shame on us. This has to be reversed. So this is normal, but it's not natural. We can actually address it and move forward from here. So this is a reversible thing, and universities like this, we need to be able to do that. So again, as we are at a university, would you like to know the future degrees that you will be doing? Okay, not just your engineering degree or your finance degree or your business degree. These are your degrees of the future. Degrees in ethics, degrees in philosophy, degrees in behavioral sciences. These, guys, are your future degrees. So if you have an engineering degree, take a degree in ethics, take a degree in neuroscience. If you're looking at biotech, go into behavioral sciences, go into humanity. That is what's going to define your future. So the baseline is good, but this is your future. So, are you feeling fear or hope? Hope? My God, okay, you're young. Okay, people feeling a bit of both, right? A little bit of fear, a little bit of hope. So we have this lady, and we're going to start finishing after this. We have this lady, she's a grandma, and she's put in a Tesla car. And all she's been asked to do is not to hold the steering wheel. It's a Tesla self-driving car. Okay, see what happens to her.
It's scary. Oh, there's cars coming. Oh, there's cars. Bill, just put me back for me controlling. Oh, dear. I could never. Oh, where's it going? Oh, this is so scary. I couldn't do it. Oh, is the car coming? I'm going to hit us. Oh, it's car.
So it's sad to see a lady screaming like that. Why is she scared? Sir, why is she scared? Age? No, wrong. Anybody else, yes?
She doesn't trust.
Trust is a very good factor. I was looking for another word, a C word. Control. She has lost control, guys. She cannot hold the steering, and she cannot bump the brakes. She's lost control. Who is screaming like this? All the regulators are screaming like this. All the governments are screaming like this when technology comes in, because we are all losing control. And this is one of the critical factors for the older people, the mature people, to be able to find ways to let go and empower people, younger people, and enjoy being lifted by them. So, as we end, your company is being influenced by so many variables, your suppliers, your customers, everybody. There's pressures from all sides. And I think it's really important.
Tedarik zinciri
So I will address
otomobil
this in
üretiminde
Turkish.
çok hassas, her şeyin nasıl bir araya geldiği konusunda. Parçalar bir yerde, montaj başka yerde, dağıtım başka bir yerde ve tüm bunlar bir araya geliyor. Bu çok hassas dengelenmiş bir ortam ve her sektörden baskılar var. Yani günümüz liderlerinin karşılaştığı önemli değişim,
This is really
dünyada
important.
%10'dan az,
Less than 10%.
liderlerin
It's very good news for you
%2'sinden
guys.
azının teknoloji, değişim ve kültür uçurumunu kapatması sadece %10. Büyük bir fırsat ama dikkatli olmalıyız. İkincisi, kuruluşlar çok karmaşık.
Are
ve
we
giderek
making our
daha da
organizations too
karmaşıklaşıyor.
complex?
Liderlerin %40'ı bunun verimsizlik yarattığını söylüyor. Artık AI ve teknolojilerle karar vermeyi çok daha verimli hale getirmeliyiz.
And only
Son olarak
25%, this is our
liderliğin
leadership
ilgi
challenge.
çekici veya
And
ilham
this is
verici
something we can
olduğuna
really do well at.
sadece %25 inanıyor. Yazıklar olsun bize. Biz
So these are some of the challenges that 10%, only 10 to 15% of the people are ready to cope with today's challenges and technologies and shift and change. Organizations are becoming too complex, and 25% of our leaders are inspirational and engaging. Huge opportunities for us, for you as an industry to fundamentally change. So for you, the young entrepreneurs, the young startups, look at those things. Look at where there is friction. Look at where things are not working. That's where you smooth out, and that is where you become as we go forward. So the younger people in this room have different challenges. They look at the world differently. The Gen Z and now the Gen Alpha is coming in. They have a different perspective. They have a different view. They ask different questions. They have a different view of time. They have a different view of work. And these are some of the new challenges that you are seeing. So for the older people, they need to be aware of this, to be sensitive to the younger people. A lot of the people sitting in the back of the room, can you recognize this, guys? Yeah? Do you feel that this is relevant for you? This is how you have started feeling? Because as I go all over the world and I present this, a lot of people say that this is exactly the case. So, as we end, 2 more slides. How do you hire, and this is for the senior people here, how do you hire people for jobs that don't yet exist? 70 to 80% jobs don't yet exist. For skills we don't yet know. Jobs don't exist, skills we don't know. How the hell do we hire? Have you thought about that? Have you guys thought about it? Because it's not on your degree, it's not on your 2 years of experience. Actually, you hire people on the basis of trust, of purpose. Purpose-driven young people are the future of the environment, of your industry. And then you look at ethics, mindfulness, vitality, flow, judgment, all of these things, and you need to put adaptability and critical thinking. This is what you hire for. You people need to do this. Apart from passing your exams and learning, be purpose-driven, be ethical, be high energy, because the world is going to change. We can't anticipate that. This is always going to be a constant. So as we end from here, let's look at leadership, and then we will end. I will put this thing up. I'm a Harvard graduate, I have a degree in economics, I've worked for big fat companies and so on. I'm not relevant if I am not a futurist or a catalyst or a technologist or an innovator. So it's not my 20 years experience in a bank or 20 years experience in Mercedes or 10 years experience in Audi. It's nice, but that's not leadership. Leadership of the future is going to be this. And the most important one is in the middle, having courage. Because in this world, we need to be bold, we need to be strong, we need to have the courage to succeed, and the strength and the resilience and the adaptability that when we fail, we can bounce forward. Not bounce back. I said bounce forward. You fail, you bounce forward. Okay, I'll tell you the 5 F's of failure. You know the 5 F's of failure? Fail fast, fail frequently, fail frugally, which means don't spend too much money failing, fail and move forward, and failure is not fatal. And the 6th F is failure is a good F word. So you have to be looking at failure as experimentation and as trying and moving forward. And we have an infrastructure through our partners, Odgers, which is Aisha Ostana, where we create structures and we customize it and partner with universities and partner with groups and so on to be able to give you a holistic answer, because no one place is giving that answer. So we become a partner to your organization. We end with this. Guys, I was very, very successful as a young person throughout my career. But when people from my color and my background, we need to be a doctor, lawyer, accountant, engineer. And if you're not one of those, we're dead. We won't get married, nobody will respect us, our parents will be embarrassed, all of this. So I happened to go in to do chartered accountancy. My parents, like a CPA. My parents sent me to that. I'm not an accountant. Do I look like an accountant? I'm dressed like an accountant, but I'm not an accountant. So I did that, and I was 23 years of age, and I failed my exam, my final professional exam. Guys, I fell apart. I had never failed at anything in my life. If I went from A to A minus, I was grounded. No sports, no future, no girls, nothing. Grounded, at home study. So I didn't know failure. So my parents gave me love, they gave me education, they gave me kindness, they gave me everything. They didn't teach me how to fail and experiment and learn from that. So all of us need to be able to become comfortable with failure. And here is an example of a beautiful story of an eagle and how it's not purely failure, but here it's about aging. But you're losing your powers, you're losing your control, and how you reinvent yourself. How many people, last thing, how many people believe in change? Too many. Forget it. Change is not relevant anymore. Please throw it away from your vocabulary. Transformation is the better word. Reinvention is an even better word. Because change is too slow, the world's moved on. You need to transform or reinvent, and I reinvented myself, and I'll finish with that story. So here is a story of reinvention and metamorphosis, and we end with this. So we all get older. And just like us, an eagle can live to 70 to 80 years. As I'm also getting older, I have to ask this question, what do I do with the rest of my life? But because I'm getting weaker, I cannot hunt, so I'm hungry. And my beak starts bending. So I cannot hunt anymore. My feathers are getting heavy. My claws are getting weak. So what do I do? Only two choices. Either I transform or I die, and there's nothing in between. This is the world we're living in. And if you, the eagle, me, we choose pain, then we fly to the top of the mountain, ladies and gentlemen. And then the process starts. It breaks its beak. Then it grows back. It takes out its feathers, and they grow back. And the talons, the claws, they come back. And once that happens, and all the feathers start regrowing again, it takes 150 days to do this. And then it takes its flight to the future. You guys are blessed. Take this flight to the future. Build your future out there. Be like the eagle. You don't need to survive. You need to thrive. You need to fly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your future. An amazing, beautiful future. Thank you very much.
Tarık, thank you very much. It was amazing. I am totally in love. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you could stay with us for a few minutes. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Ben burada izleme fırsatı bulamadım ama arkada da tüylerim diken diken oldu. Harika bir konuşmaydı. Çok teşekkürler. Kendisini uğurlamadan önce plaketlerini takdim etmek için Otomotiv'in Geleceği Tasarım Yarışması Yönetim Kurulu Başkanı Sayın Ömer Burhanoğlu'nu bir kere daha sahneye davet ediyorum efendim.
Thank you, sir. I hope the team enjoyed it.